Wow! What's happening, everybody? This your boy. We back, baby. We back. It's Monday. What's happening, everybody? How are you guys doing? How is everybody out there? It's Monday the 11th. Listen, we are in May. Can you guys believe that? We are already in May. So I want to welcome everybody to Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette. I am he, your host, and I'm excited to be with you today. Before I get into business, before I get into the topic, I want to say to everyone, now I know it was yesterday, what I want to say to everyone, Happy Mother's Day. Yes, Happy Mother's Day. I know you guys had an amazing time. I know we celebrated our mothers. Big shout out to my own mom. Hey, mom. To all of the mothers, all of my other moms, and everybody in between, all of my aunts, everybody. Just shout out to every mom that's out there around the world. I also want to welcome in our first time individuals that's listening to our podcast on Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette. We have a lot of fun here. We're going to make some jokes. We're going to create some jokes. We're going to say a lot of stuff, whether you like it or not. But the whole power behind it is still empowerment. It is still making sure that we're all competing and being at the ultimate level that we are. Okay, so I'm excited just to be with you guys. I really am. Yesterday was Mother's Day. Church was off the chain. Church was off the Richter. But okay, I'm sorry. I was about to go in a different direction. Yeah, it was good. But it was also good to see all of the moms and, seeing people get cake and restaurants are full. It's just good to celebrate your mom. I don't know how to say it. Then let me also say, for those that don't have their mom with them anymore, they went on to glory. I'll raise you up in prayer because I know that's not an easy thing, whether it's a mother or a father. But because we're celebrating Mother's Day on yesterday, I just want to make sure that we point that out. I know it can be difficult on some days, but I just wanted to make sure that you guys understand that we are still with you. We're still standing here with you. So shout out to you guys and big love and respect and hugs to you guys because it is not an easy thing, but you're still here and you're still making it. I know you're making your mom proud, so shout out to that. I know it's been crazy. Whew, it's been for family. It's been crazy. Around the world, it's just been crazy between the wars and everything that's going on. But I want to share this with you guys. I want to share something that I think is going to help you continue to stay focused. Continue to stay focused. Now, here's one. Ooh, family. Y'all ready for this one? Ooh, family, y'all ready for this one? Now, this one, the title of this one is simple. Influence or noise? Which are you? Influence or noise? Which are you? We have so many people out there with so much noise, and we're trying to figure out a lot of times who is real and who is just about that fake. Who is real and who is about that fake. Well, I want to share with you just a few points from my perspective that I think will clear up some things that would help. Now, if you somewhere and you can take some notes and write some stuff down, please do so, because I think it's going to be that powerful. If you're not, keep driving or keep staying at your desk, and when you get back, go to letstalkwithstanleydoucette.com. Go there and you can download the podcast or re-listen to the podcast in its entirety. And in that way, you can take the notes that you need to take to, you can absorb it, all of those good things. So let's get to work. Let's get to work. But again, noise and influence, man, we've been having that going on for a long, long time. But I want to share with you guys just some insight. I think about so many different stories, actually, before I even get into the points. And you start talking about noise. I remember talking to, this was when I was on the police department, by the way, and I was talking to a supervisor, right? This was funny. And so this kind of give you guys some insight. So in the New Orleans Police Department where I was, there are certain what we call districts. Well, other people call them precincts, right? So, depending on what district you were in, how much crime, some places are a little bit more crime than others and so on. Well, at the time, I remember I was working at I don't want to say all of the stuff because then I just don't feel like dealing with people. But we was in a certain district. And I remember leaving one district and going to another district, and I was like, okay, it's like you're going from the minor leagues to the major leagues, right? At this other district I was going to, you had I call it real crime, right? Not car break-ins or something like that. But you had, people shooting with assault rifles and shooting at the police and vehicle chases and all of that stuff. So yeah, so I went to that district, right? And I was all excited about it. Couldn't wait. Yeah, I know y'all probably say this dude crazy, but I couldn't wait. I was very, very excited to get there. But there was another supervisor that just got promoted, but he was always in these cush positions. So I remember just going there, and initially we had this conversation because I asked, I was like, let me go on the night watch, right? Okay, no problem. Ain't too many people fighting to get on the night watch. So I was on the night watch. I was excited. I was on the night watch. Let's make it happen. Let us do what we do. And that's what happened. And we did. We got on the night watch. And then I got to a point where I just told the lieutenant, I was like, man, I don't like doing accidents, right? And so she brought it up in roll call the next day and started talking to a lot of the senior officers. And it was like, well, if we can break this down, how would this work? And so some people would take accidents. Some people would take, certain calls. And I was like, listen, I will write all of the homicides. I will write all of the shootings, all of those big events. I will do them personally. Regardless of what, I will do the report. And everybody else, as long as I don't have to do an accident or anything dealing with domestic violence, those are my two I just hated. So the lieutenant said, if y'all are okay, we could agree to that. And that's what we did. And OMG, I had such a wonderful time. Well, that lieutenant got promoted to captain. And when she got promoted to captain, that's when the new person came in. And this new person on paper, on paper, y'all know what it is, on paper, it sounds good because it was on paper. And she did this and she did that. But in actuality, when you got to be the real police and you got to actually go to the scene and know what you're doing, for real. Well, let's just say we had the same scenario in place, and that particular supervisor, was going on, and unfortunately, somebody got killed. So, the whole platoon, we was doing what we do. We made our stuff happen, and they called me and said, hey, Stanley, I know you at lockup, but, there's a possible 30 at such and such and stuff. I'm sorry, there's a possible homicide at such and such and such and such. Okay, no problem. So I go there, get there. They had them roped off the scene for me. I start doing what I do to get the report and start investigating and so on. And hey, it was great. But guess what? That said police officer, that said supervisor came. And let's just say, I don't want to say it was a male or female. Let's just say they were messing up. And it was so bad to the point where I just told that said supervisor, look, stand behind the rope. I'm going to tell you what to do and what to say, and you're going to look good. Now, why am I saying that? Because when we were in roll call, she got all of this, this and that, and it's almost like PowerPoint slides and all this other foolishness. That's cute when you're in the academy. That's cute when you in, somewhere you don't have no real crime. But it's difficult to say when somebody come running in the street and see their loved one, unfortunately, have passed on. There are certain things you must do to protect the integrity of the crime scene, to protect the love and the beauty of that soul, unfortunately. And she was, that said, that said supervisor was messing up. So it was a lot of noise that she was doing, but had no influence, right? People were just looking at her like, what is she talking about? This is the real world. So I want to go into that, right? Just thinking, what are some of the things or the differences between noise and influence, right? What's the difference between noise and influence? And in that particular situation, she had a lot of noise, but I had the influence. And people was asking me what to do. Now, I'm not trying to make myself to be the greatest, this or that. That's not it. But I'm just using this for this example, right? So take a look at this. So number one, again, we're talking about influence or noise. Which are you? So number one, noise seeks attention. Influence creates impact. Yes, sir. Let me say that again. Y'all write that one down. Matter of fact, y'all could just stay on that one all day, right? Noise seeks attention, while influence creates impact. Noise seeks attention. Influence creates impact. Let me say that again and slow down. Noise seeks attention. Influence creates impact. Y'all got that? All right. So when you talk about noise, y'all know noise is loud. You know, as a matter of fact, I was telling somebody this weekend, man, I realized I'm running from noise. Like, I don't even want people around me that's noisy. It's just a whole bunch of nothing, right? So noise is loud. It's emotional. And check this out. It's also temporary. Yes, it's also temporary. You know, noise is really seeking to be seen. That's what it really wants. That's what it focuses on, to be seen. You all know what I mean. I want to be seen. So if I'm loud and I'm boisterous and I'm this and that, it make it sound good, but I just want to be seen. It's just like that supervisor. They just wanted to be seen, but had absolutely no idea what was going on, right? They just want to be seen. They want to do stuff to get a reaction out of people. You know, she was barking orders, and you know, it was like, you barking orders to tell somebody to go do the absolute wrong thing. Like somebody say, she was loud and wrong. Loud and wrong. So, you know, she wanted to get attention and reactions and all of that stuff. That's temporary. She was emotional. Instead of just slide in and say, let me slide in and see how all of this worked, and you know, it would have been good, but she didn't do that, right? So noise in and of itself is loud, it's emotional, it's temporary. And it focuses on being seen, getting reactions. So yeah, that's that. We don't do that. Don't do that. Don't be loud. You know, don't bring that loudness, right? Now, influence, on the other hand, it changes lives. It'll shift people's thinking because you're influenced, right? It'll leave a lasting result. Now, let me share with you guys how we took care of the business with that supervisor, right? And how we helped her out. We didn't go and was loud and tell her, you loud and wrong, right? We didn't start walking around like, who is this? And where they got her from? No, we didn't do that. What we did was we shared with her, we worked with her, right? To change her thoughts, you know, to shift her thinking. Listen, you can have the stripes or the bar or the railroads on your shoulder, you know, to be a sergeant or a lieutenant or a captain. But if you don't know what's going on, you still wrong, right? So we started to work with her to shift her thinking, right? And it wasn't loud. We weren't loud. We was just, hey, listen, you know, such and such. Just do this. When you do this and stand right here, that way you can let the team do what they do. And it seems like you still running stuff, but they don't need to know you may not have did this in a long time, or you don't know, or whatever. And it started to shift her thinking. And believe it or not, you know, a few months later, she came back and she said, you know, like, thank you for that. Because she admitted it to her credit. She said, I hadn't done a homicide scene in so long, it was foreign to me. and I was stuck in X, Y, and Z position, and just use paper. But this was the real world. And certain stuff on paper, we have this, but what do you do when certain stuff we don't have and it ran out, or the city couldn't pay for it, or whatever? How do you improvise and still keep the dignity and the integrity of all of the stuff? So she said, thank you. Well, that is leaving that lasting impression on somebody. So lasting results. That's what we want. How do you leave that lasting impression, right? So again, on this one, number one, are you seeking attention, or are you influencing, creating an impact? So noise seeks attention, influence creates an impact. Let me go to number two. All right, y'all. I hope y'all got something on that one. All right, number two, noise talks consistently or constantly. Noise talks constantly. Influence listens and leads. Woo, this is good. Noise talks constantly. Influence listens and leads. Now let me tell y'all about me. Back in the day, I was noisy. I talked constantly. Yeah, me, Stanley. I don't even want to put this on nobody. This is me, Stanley. I literally talked all the time. I mean, all the time. So check this out. Noise is reactive. Opinion driven. That's ego for me. I'm telling y'all about Stanley. Back in the day, that's me. Noise was reactive, opinion driven, all of that stuff. No, that was noise. I was out of order. I was wrong. But that's Stanley's opinion, right? So noise talks constantly. I mean, I was da. And ain't have nothing to back it up. But then as time went on and things started to happen in life, and life started life and for real, you kind of start to feel your way, and you start to have a little bit more wisdom when you come to the door or to the table or to the business league or whatever it may be, right? And now you start to listen so you can lead. It says listen and lead. Well, if you are constantly running your mouth like I was back in the day, it was impossible to listen to what the individual is saying in order to lead. See, a lot of times, even in relationships, right? People will listen to hear to respond and not listen to understand. Yeah. I know people don't want to hear that, but if you actually listen to understand, it will cut down. Now, this is an opinion. It will cut down on 50, 60, 70%, 80, even maybe even 90% of arguments or disagreements, because you're listening to understand. My mentor is very powerful with this. He don't listen to respond. He don't hear to respond. He listens to understand. Where now he can take all of the language or all of the information, and you can spit out the stuff that doesn't matter and get directly to what is going to help you be of influence so you can lead, not just I heard you and you start talking. How many times somebody you are talking? I'm gonna give y'all a quiz right now. Y'all know this. How many times you're talking and somebody cut you off and start telling you what you were about to say? Yeah, let's get on into it. They're trying to tell you what you were about to say, right? And then after they finish with their wonderful dissertation, and then you say, yeah, no, that's not what I was about to say. And then they just say, oh, well, what you was about to say? If you would have listened at the beginning, you wouldn't feel like a fool right now. So I'm sharing with everybody, please. I know we like to talk sometimes, especially me. I love to talk. But please listen to understand, right? Listen to understand so we can lead, so we can absolutely lead. Does that make sense to everybody? Because influence takes time to listen. Influencers take time to listen, understand. But here's the other part. Once my mentor begins to speak to me, to help me, to elevate me, or to correct me, he speaks with wisdom. He speaks with wisdom. It's not foolishness. He speaks with wisdom. How can we do the exact same thing? How can we do the exact same thing? Great leaders do not just talk more, they communicate better. Let me say that again. Great leaders do not just talk more, they communicate better. Yeah, they communicate better. Because why? They listen to understand. Now they're speaking with wisdom. So now they know how to share with you so you can be better. Man, this is so good. I'm about to write some notes myself. That's what it is, though. That's what it is. Let's get to number 3. All right. Number 3 is noise chases popularity. Influence builds trust. Let me say that again. Noise chases popularity. Influence builds trust. How many times, when I look at some of these reality shows, and I know sometimes, some of it is scripted and they're just trying to, they're making some money, and that's great. I don't have nothing against they're doing and making their money. That's what they're doing. But they're chasing popularity. You see people trying to get 5,000, 5 million, 6 million, all of these, I got all of these followers, I got all of these friends and all of that stuff. They're chasing popularity. But influence builds trust. Look at Apple. Look at Google. Look at Walmart. Whether you like them or not. Look at, let me think of somebody else off the top of my head, a fast food restaurant. I don't know, Popeyes, right? It still builds influence. Then that influence is trust. McDonald's is trust. You trust that the fries are still going to be on the left side when you're facing the counter. You trust that. You know that, right? When you look at Google, you know what you're going to get. When you have Apple, you know what you're going to get. That influence builds trust. Regardless of how we're going to say it, it builds trust. See, we're not chasing popularity. Noise often changes when trends or with trends and public opinion. The noise will change. So look at what's going on in politics right now. The noise is all going in one particular place. Because once one president left office and another one came into office, all of a sudden the popularity shifted to a certain location. So what happened is now the trends and public opinion started going in that direction. Regardless if we like it or not, that is what it is. Influence is built through consistency, integrity, character, and service over time. Let me read that again to you. Influence is built through consistency, integrity, character, and service over time. See, when you just running and chasing popularity, you're gonna go wherever the wind blows, right? Because you want to be seen, you want to be that person, you want to be loud, you want to be all of that. But if you're talking about building influence, when you talk about that, you're building through consistency, you're building through integrity, you're building through character, you're building through service over time. Listen, I don't say this often, very, very often, especially I don't say it in public. But when I just I love to feed the homeless. Not from an egotistical standpoint and not going to the big soup kitchens or the big pantries and something like that. No, what I like to do is just get a loaf of bread, and I will get some cold cut meat, and I will put it on the bread with some mayo and mustard or whatever. Just fix a sandwich. I would get some chips, and if I'm feeling jazzy that day, I may even get some cookies to go in there, and a little juice. Put it in a bag, a plastic bag, and however many is in that loaf of bread, I would take those sandwiches. Now, check this out. Inside of that, the bread, I put it in a sandwich bag, and I would write a note on there. And the note is something very simple. It would be something very simple. I love you and so does God. Or it's something very simple, right? I'm not going to tell y'all what I write because I don't want y'all stealing my stuff. So it's just something very simple, nothing deep. And here is what I do. And I've done this since I've been in Atlanta. I've done this in New Orleans. This is what I do. I literally drive to wherever the homeless population is. And I will walk the streets. Nope, not with an armed guard, armed people. That just literally walk the streets. And I would go to them. I would share with them. I would converse with them. I would talk with them. Just give them a bag. Some of them is only a 2-minute visit. Others, they start talking and they start opening up and sharing why they're there and so on and so on. And their gratitude and thankful and all of those things. For me, it humbles me. But when you talk about influence, for me, that's real influence because it's consistent. I'm not chasing popularity. I'm not putting this on, bring a news crew. I don't take pictures to be like, look, y'all, look at me. I don't do any of those things. It's literally me and those individuals wherever they are, right? Now, again, it's not about me. I'm sharing. In there, you begin to build consistency, right? There's consistency there. You're doing it in integrity. You got character with it. You're doing it service over time. And you constantly doing it. Then you begin to be noticed by other individuals. You begin to notice even as some of the homeless population begin to say, oh, yeah, you came last time. I remember you. How you doing? And so on, right? So all of that, you now begin to have influence. And now you begin to converse with them. And as you're sharing with them, now they begin to listen and begin to listen and take whatever that message is to their heart, because you're not just going out there one time with cameras and all of that stuff and making them part of something that's really for you. No, we're not doing that. So I hope that makes sense to everybody, right? I'm going to say that one again. Influence is built through consistency, integrity, character, and service over time. It's not going to happen overnight, but over time. See, popularity may open doors, but trust keeps them open. I'm telling y'all what I know. Just your boy, I'm telling y'all. Let me do number 4 and number 5, and then we're going to climb on out of here. All right? Noise drains energy. Influence produces growth. Woo! Noise drains your energy. Influence produces growth. Which one are you? Are you the noisy one? Or are you the one that produces growth? Yeah, ask yourself that. Noise leaves people anxious, distracted, divided, all of those other stuff, emotionally exhausted. Woo, that's some people, wives or husbands. Yes, sir, I said it. I know y'all was thinking, I said it out loud for you. Listen, if you're in a car with your husband or your wife, and that's that person, don't look that way. Look straight ahead. Keep looking at the driver's wheel. Yes. So, number 4 is noise drains energy. Influence produces growth. Noise drains energy. Influence produces growth. Remember, noise leaves people anxious, distracted, divided, and emotionally exhausted. True influence inspires growth, peace, direction, confidence, action. You know, you got to put some action in things, right? So that is what true influence inspires. So which one are you? We've been around people that drain us. Have you ever, let me just ask this question out loud. Have you ever went to an event or church or a business meeting or something, and you see that person coming and you like, ugh, and you do everything you can to not talk to that person? I mean everything you can, because they are absolutely draining. Have you ever been in that situation before? Because that person just drains you. I mean, it's like as soon as you see them coming, you start getting anxious. Ooh, right? I mean, if they buy you, they're distracting, their energy bad. They'll start talking and they're divisive. All of that stuff. They just become emotionally exhausted. Yeah. I've been around some people like that, and he was saying, "Are you acting funny today?" "No, I'm just trying to get away from you." And the pastor, yeah, I'm gonna just leave it there. I had some other verbiage for that, but I'm gonna just leave it there, right? So check that out. Noise leaves people anxious, distracted, divided, and emotionally exhausted. Now, true influence inspires growth. That means everywhere you grow, everywhere you go, you should help people grow, right? You should never go and leave them barren. You should help them grow. Bring peace. When something I like to do when I'm always at church, I'm using church, I'm always smiling. Always having people laugh and have fun, because you're bringing peace. You're helping them expand and grow and be in a place of confidence and direction. Because when they're asked something, you give them an answer, and you'll see that you're there to help. You're not there to pull away, to pull down, to divide, to distract. You're not there for that. You're the absolute opposite. So you want to create that true influence to inspire them to grow, to be better, to do better. That's where we are. After people hear you, do they feel heavier? Woo! Or better? Let me ask that question again. After people hear you, when they hear you speak, they hear you coming, they see you coming, do they feel heavier or do they feel better? Ask yourself that question. Only you can answer that question, but ask yourself that question. I know what the answer is for me, but ask yourself that question. Now, if you're saying it's heavier, no worries. Fear not. Fear not. We can absolutely change and shift that narrative, because that's when you become quiet and you begin to listen to understand. You listen to understand, not hear to respond. So you began to take all of those things into play. Now you begin to understand and make those differences or those changes, right? and that's what happens. So it becomes great. Let me give you number one again. All right. I'm gonna do number one, number two, and then we got 3, 4, and I'll give you number 5, and we'll climb on out of here. So number one, noise seeks attention. Influence creates impact. Noise seeks attention. Influence creates impact. Number 2, noise talks consistently. Influence listens and leads. Number 2, noise talks consistently. Influence listen and leads. All right. Number 3, noise chase popularity. Influence builds trust. Number 3, noise chases popularity. Influence builds trust. All right. Number 4, noise drains energy. Influence produces growth. Number 4, noise drains energy. Influence produces growth. All right. And number 5, noise is self-focused. Influence is purpose-focused. Oh, that's so good right there. I must admit to y'all, for the longest, I was self-focused, just on me. Let me tell y'all something. Let me get from a relationship side, right? Raise your hand to yourself, because nobody else can see you. But how many times have we done things in relationships that really was focused on us and we tried to mask it as somebody else or for somebody else? Now, you don't have to raise your hand because I know you probably don't tell a fib to yourself, but you don't have to worry about it. There was so many times in my early life to where I did things, but it really was focused on me because I wanted to feel good, right? Let's keep it 100. Let's keep it a whole 100, not a half, but a whole 100. We did things that because we wanted to be, it was focused on ourselves. That's what we wanted. It wasn't purpose focused. It was on ourselves. That's what we were doing. You know, noise asked, how can I be noticed? Influence asked, how can I help people? This keep it right there. You don't have to go no further than that. Noise asks, how can I be noticed? Influence asks, how can I help people? If you're see, I was noisy, right? And I would do things to be seen. Oh, come on, come on, y'all playing games today. Be 100 with it. I literally would do things to be seen, to be noticed, right? Because I wanted to be noticed. I wanted to be noticed by this one or that one or whatever. Yeah, I was in quiet. I was noisy. I was noisy. I really was noisy because I wanted to be seen. I was loud. I wanted people to know me and all of those things. But here's something. Let me throw this one in here for just this one is for free because I didn't have the self-confidence in who I really was. See, when I began, if you really began to open up who you are and you know all of your flaws and all your idiosyncrasies and all the things that you may think other people will look down upon you on. So what you do is you do things so you can be noticed. Yes, sir. Because you don't want people to really focus on you because you're going to think they're going to see your flaws and your dirty and the things that you have hidden. So you were never 100. So you were really noisy. That's why you were self-focused. This is school. Yes, ring the bell. Ding, 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 ding. So when you literally began to focus on you understand and know the things you did wrong for real. There's nobody else you can lie to. You know you went to that girl house and had sex. You know you went to that man house and had sex. You know you cheated on that test. You know you came to work late and then said it was somebody else's fault. Let's not lie today. Yeah, we did it because we were noisy. We was focused on ourselves. And we kept saying, how can I be noticed on the job? I'm going to do this so my supervisor can see me. How can I be noticed? That's what we did. And to be real honest with you, it was a lack of confidence for me. I had no confidence that I really can set in tone, that I can sit there. See, when you start talking about, when I went to Atlanta, I can feel myself getting excited now. When I got to Atlanta and I'm looking at all of these individuals and everybody had a master's degree and making $100,000+ a year. Yeah, y'all won't play games. I am being 100. I just came from New Orleans in a purple pickup truck with my clothes in the back, headed in Atlanta. The job I had was not going to be making $100,000 and I didn't have a master's degree. So I already had myself defeated. Not somebody else. Come on, y'all, talk to me. I already had my own self defeated. I was focused on myself to be seen. Right? I want to be seen. So it was whether it was a lady or whether it was friends, or whether it was kicking it with guys that had quote unquote status, because I wanted to be seen. And then one day, one day, my mentor asked me, what's your purpose? And it was like he saw right through me. I mean, it was ugly, y'all, because I had no answer. Because I was chasing noise. I wanted to be noticed. but I didn't have that influence. I was in purpose focus. So when we had that question and began to develop not just the answer for purpose, but to build the confidence. And then to start saying, how can I help people? So to the version you see today, and you ask that question, how can I help people? I genuinely want to help you, and I have a passion behind it. You know, a lot of times when we're in one voice, and people be like, oh, I don't want Stanley as my accountability partner. Yep, you don't want me, because if we say we're gonna talk Thursday at 7:30, we gonna be. I don't care if I'm in Africa. I'm gonna figure out the time difference, and we're gonna talk Thursday at 7:30. And we're not gonna talk just to be friends and kick the can down the street. We're going to be serious. Well, a lot of people don't like that accountability. It doesn't matter, but I'm there to help people, and I'm passionate about it. What is that for you? Are you passionate about helping people? Let me tell y'all this story, and then we're gonna close out. Let me just tell you the story. So on Saturday was in New Orleans. Our church put some buses on the street so people can go early vote. Right now, it was raining crazy. When I say crazy, I mean when I say it was raining something. I mean ridiculous. It was awful. And so they canceled all the buses, and they just got one bus. And all the people that actually came in the rain, because we had an entire bus full of people still going early vote. I'm clapping for them, because that's great. They didn't let the weather turn them around. So you get there and everybody go and vote. We took a picture. It was great. I mean, it was beautiful. I loved it. I enjoyed it. I'm just really grateful, especially with all the stuff going on. But inside of all of that, because you can see the difference between you doing something to be noticed or you doing something to help people. There was a particular young lady that we were all standing out waiting for everybody to finish up so we could get back, take the picture and get back on the bus, right? And I saw there was an older couple coming up, and I saw this young lady. I'm not going to call her name up because I didn't ask her for permission. And she helped this couple, not just up the steps, she actually walked with them and showed them where to go and register, where to vote, get their sticker and all of that. Man, that thing touched me so deep. And she did it so effortlessly without asking for permission or asking to take a picture or no, it was done purely. And I shared with her how I felt about it and told her how great and how powerful that was. So when you talk about can I help people or how can I help people, she truly walked in that power, in her greatness and in her purity, help those individuals. So the question becomes, how can I be noticed or how can I help people? Which one are you? All right, family, let's climb on out of here. Listen, I enjoyed you guys so much today. I started getting happy. So I didn't want to get too happy, but I started getting happy, because getting happy, you start getting happy. And it was just happy to be happy. You know what I mean? So I appreciate you guys. This is incredible. I absolutely love this. I want to tell you guys this last thing. This week on Thursday, for those that are in New Orleans, let me make sure I get the right address. But who's going to be in New Orleans, I'm actually going to be speaking for our company. Going to be speaking for One Voice Worldwide. We're actually going to be at 4001 LaPalco Boulevard, Suite 21. That's in Harvey, Louisiana, at the Picture Perfect Event Hall. We're going to be there. We're going to be speaking. We're going to be empowering. We're going to be mentoring. We're going to be elevating. We're going to be doing all of those things to help people as they move forward. So I'm excited. I cannot wait for that. So I can't wait to see you guys that are here in New Orleans. Come on out. Bring somebody with you. It's going to be a very, very powerful and special thing. So come on, get on board. Come holler at your boy. Let's make some things happen and make some things happen in a big way. So with that being said, listen, I appreciate you guys. Don't forget, I'm hitting all of the camera and everything. Don't forget, influence or noise? Which are you? You have to make that choice. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys next week on Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette. I'm out. Peace.